Hello, guys and girls. It is I, Aaron Halo 18 here. I'm going to do a video about The Last of Us Part 2. Discussion episode 2. I'm going to read from the Wikia website about the Part 2. And yes, I'm guessing this game comes out in 2018, I guess. Not next year. I'm guessing Joel will be 54 if he's alive. And Ellie's 19 in the game. Wikia says, this article is about the sequel to The Last of Us. For the other pages that may have a similar name, see The Last of Us. This ambiguation. This article, The Last of Us Part 2, has insufficient information and needs more content. You can assist The Last of Us by expanding this article as much as you can. The Last of Us Part 2 is an upcoming third-person survival horror action-adventure video game being developed by Naughty Dog and will be published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 4. The game is a sequel to The Last of Us and picks up the story of Ellie and Joel approximately 5 years after the events of the last game. Plot: The Last of Us Part 2 takes place approximately 5 years after the original. About 25 years after the outbreak of the cordyceps brain infection began, and will feature the return of a 19-year-old Ellie as a playable character, as well as Joel in his mid-50s. Ellie is fueled by hate, which will be a major theme within the story. The characters, main article characters. Ellie Ashley Johnson, the main character and playable protagonist of the game. Ellie was formerly denounced from the Boston quarantine zone and is immune to the cordyceps brain infection. She returns from the original game and is now 19 years old and sports a tattoo on her right arm. She's fueled by hate and wants to kill them all. Joel Troy Baker, the protagonist of the game. Joel is a survivor of the CBI outbreak who returns from the original game alongside Ellie. He is now in his early to mid-50s. In February 2014, creative director Neil Dunkerman said the possibility of a sequel to The Last of Us was about 50-50. And the team needed to develop a story really worth telling. And that's not repeating itself. In July 2014, community strategist Arnie Mayer said that not considering a sequel would be a disservice to the studio and the fans. In December 2014, character artist Michael No Land, who previously worked with Naughty Dog on The Last of Us, updated his LinkedIn page to include The Last of Us 2, with him as the lead character artist who was designing head sculpts. Shortly afterwards, his page was updated to remove all mention of the sequel. At MetroCon 2015 in June, Norman North, who portrays David in The Last of Us, and Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series, who asked if he was involved in any future Naughty Dog projects. He replied, "For now, Uncharted 4 is the last one. I know they're doing The Last of Us 2, but my character in The Last of Us kind of met an untimely demise." Druckmann later responded to North's comments, saying that a small team at Naughty Dog had explored ideas and begun building prototypes for a sequel, but were interrupted when the team shifted development to Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Rumors began to rise again after Game Informer accidentally leaked images and information regarding a sequel to The Last of Us at E3 2016, specifically that Ellie would be 19 years old and that the story would transition between the present and the past. Announcement on December 3rd, 2016 at Sony's annual PlayStation Experience event. Naughty Dog closed the event by officially announcing a sequel to The Last of Us via a reveal trailer titled The Last of Us Part 2. The trailer shows Ellie, now 19 years old, playing a guitar while singing Through the Valley by Sean James in an abandoned house. Joe approaches the house and enters the room, asking, "What are you doing, kiddo? You really gotta go through with this?" Slowly putting the guitar down, she replies, "I'm gonna find and I'm gonna kill every last one of them." Yeah. Ellie has been confirmed to be the main playable character. It will play differently than Joel from the original. No release date has been announced, and the game was noted to be in very early development by Sean Layden. In a panel after the reveal, Neil Druckmann was asked why Naughty Dog ultimately decided to make a sequel. They explained, while a sequel may have seemed like a foregone conclusion, that wasn't the case. We knew that it needed to be a story worth telling. After spending years trying ideas, we finally created a story worthy of Joel and Ellie. Druckmann also confirmed that Gustavo Zanatella will return as the composer for the game's soundtrack. It has also been confirmed that Bruce Straley to help Druckmann make early prototypes for the new game will not return to assist Druckmann with directing the sequel. More reportedly, taking a year out after the pair finished working on the DLC for Uncharted, the game will utilize new motion capture technology for its characters, as well as an entirely new engine for the PlayStation 4. News, PlayStation 4. Ellie is the main character of The Last of Us Part 2. Joel is taking a back seat in the sequel. From Michael McWhorter at Mike McWhorter, December 3rd, 2016, 5:34 p.m. EST. They show a picture of the game with Ellie holding a guitar and the dead body on the floor and blood and machete on the floor. And below the picture says Naughty Dog / Sony Interactive Entertainment. The Last of Us Part 2 will feature Ellie in the lead playable role, creative director Neil Sherman revealed at PlayStation Experience 2016 today. She'll take over for Joel, the playable protagonist for the majority of the original game, and Naughty Dog's sequel. The second chapter in the franchise will take place a few years after the events of the original game. Ellie is now 19 years old and fueled by hate. Major theme of The Last of Us Part 2. Ackerman said, Ellie will play differently from Joel. Ackerman said that revealing any more about her evolution was risky territory. Ackerman said that the reason the sequel is specifically named Part 2 is that it's a complementary story to the first game, and that the two games will tell a much larger story. Ellie was playable for a portion of the original The Last of Us, and started a prequel expansion, The Last of Us Left Behind. Sony Naughty Dog confirmed that The Last of Us Part 2 at the end of this morning's PlayStation Experience keynote showcase. While the game is a long ways off, Cameron said more details are promised in the coming months. They have a lot of articles here, actually. Eurogamer, will there be a new The Last of Us? Naughty Dog follows The Last of Us 2. Update, there's a 50 chance of a sequel. There's Dark Fan. By Martin Robinson, published the 24th. February 24th, 2014. Update 24/02/2014. The Last of Us creative director Neil Druckmann has stated on a Reddit MAA that he feels like there's a 50-50 chance of a sequel to The Last of Us getting made. If you're asking about a sequel, right now I'd say it's 50-50. He stated, do you like those odds? Well, do ya, punk? Original story. February 7th. 2014. Naughty Dog is currently considering its options regarding a sequel to The Last of Us. It's critically acclaimed post-apocalyptic action game that launched to critical and commercial acclaim early last year. Talking in the week before the PlayStation 3 game gets its first and only single-player DLC, a prequel that explores some of the origins of main character Ellie, writer and creative director. The document has said that Naughty Dog's looking at how best to approach a sequel. We just wrapped up Left Behind. It was Shirley, the game director. I have been doing this for over 4 years now. So it's just time for a break. And to recharge the batteries, the document told Eurogamer. They show a picture of Left Behind, I guess. We have started brainstorming some stuff. To be honest, some of them are this is from Eurogamer.net, by the way. Our sequel ideas. And some of them are brand new IP. We've spent the last few weeks brainstorming new IP. So we have to get some good steps and see. It's kind of like how we approached Left Behind. Can we tell people a story that's really worth telling? And that's not repeating itself. And if we can't, where can we get inspired? What is something that's really going to challenge us? And push storytelling in this medium forward. Naughty Dog now has 2 teams internally, with one working on an Uncharted game for PlayStation 4. There had been some speculation that The Last of Us would be bundled with its new story DLC for a PlayStation 4 port, though there's nothing to share on that just yet. We have such limited resources. There's a question of where you put the resources. Document said of the possibility of PlayStation 4 port of The Last of Us. It's something where we can have a feel at where the demand is and where our time is best spent. It's something that we'll figure out as we move forward. About Martin Morrison. Martin's Eurogamer's features and reviews editor. He has a Chinese 2 arcade board. I like to play racing games with special boots and gloves on. Video Gamer. Explore ideas for The Last of Us 2. By David Skimbill. July 24th, 2014. Posted in news. This is from videogamer.com. And the title of the article is Naughty Dog Exploring Ideas for The Last of Us 2. I think it would be a disservice to ourselves and our fans if we didn't explore if we could continue. The story says community strategist. Show a picture of Joel and Ellie at that woods with his brother's place. And below the picture says the rest of the article I'm in. Naughty Dog is currently exploring ideas for a sequel to The Last of Us. Community strategist R.D. Mayer has revealed, telling videogamer.com that failing to consider options for The Last of Us 2 would be a disservice to ourselves and our fans. I think we always make a smart decision in that all of our games are self-contained stories, so they don't have to continue if we don't want them to, or if there's no reason. for them to continue. Mayer explained while discussing ideas for a sequel. It really comes down to, is there something interesting in this universe we've created that we want to continue to explore? Is it something that we could get the entire team passionate about? Is it something we could get the creative directors excited about, and then we could continue it? Or just starting to explore ideas of what more could there be in this universe and starting that discussion? It's progress. That doesn't mean the end result. Keyboard try?
Yep. Are you having company tonight?
Oh, wait. I'm making a video. Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry. Well, I need to know if I should make this a go. Should I make this a go?
I'm back. What? Hand for die. That's my dad, guys, girls. And my dad says, I'm having some people come over tonight, and sorry if I interrupted the video there a little bit. I'll continue. And my dad's gonna go make his pizza right now. So I'll go back to my video now. And the rest of the article says, we're just starting to explore ideas of what more could there be in this universe and starting that discussion process. That doesn't mean the end result is guaranteed. If a sequel does go ahead, however, don't expect to see it for a while yet. Both creative director Neil Zuckerman and game director Shirley are now leading development on next year's Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. In place of former leads Amy Hennig and Justin Richmond, voice actor Troy Baker doesn't yet appear to be involved in discussions for a sequel either. The Last of Us Remastered, a next-gen port of the original PS3 game, launches on PS4 on August 1st. That's it for that article. Leaked by creator, character artist, IGN. GameSpot, Game Informer, The Verge, Forbes, Kanatuku, GameSpot, IGN again, GameSpot, GameSport, and I guess the character. By SAC Chief, December 22nd, 2014. Teaser blog, SAC Chief. Hey everyone, it's come to my attention that a leak for a sequel to The Last of Us has surfaced. This comes from the LinkedIn page of Michael Nolan, a character artist who is serving as lead character artist on the upcoming PS4 exclusive Uncharted 4 Thief's End. As well as, well, what do we have here? It says on his LinkedIn page that he's also the lead character artist for The Last of Us 2, in which he is prototyping head. This information is pretty solid, since he is on the Uncharted team. And keep in mind that many games have been leaked like this before, so this is a very strong indicator that The Last of Us 2 is on the way. Be excited, updated. Nolan has removed the information from his LinkedIn page. He's probably never going to hear the end of this from his boss. Comments below to see the That wasn't really an article, but yeah. Oh, I'm sorry here. I gotta push the trust button. Article is called North may have outed The Last of Us 2. This was from the last January 29th, June 29th, 2015. Share, you haven't seen The Last of Us 2. You haven't seen The Last of Us. By Steve Watts. Voice actor Nolan North occasionally dropped word of a Last of Us sequel during a recent Q&A panel. For now, last one, North said of the video when asked if he has any upcoming projects with Naughty Dog aside from Uncharted 4. I know they're doing a Last of Us 2. But my character in Last of Us kind of had an untimely demise. It is possible that North is mistaken. His answer was in the context of explaining why he doesn't have any other Naughty Dog projects lined up. So whatever scuttlebutt he's heard wouldn't have any inside information from a cast member. However, he's well known and connected enough to give his word some credibility. As he alluded to, his character in The Last of Us, David, died. North could come back as a different character, though, since he's known for providing a wide range of different voices. This link directs to a retail affiliate. IGN may receive a commission from your purchase. Steve Watts is a freelancer writer who should really get this mushroom growing out of his skull checked out. Nah, it's probably fine. You can read more of his keen insights by following him on Twitter and IGN. Games about The Last of Us or Uncharted. Was prototype of Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 was prototyped by Naughty Dog to focus on Uncharted 4 for now. I think it was actively in development, but the studio may return to it, and other ideas in the future. Last update by Timur Hassan on September 23rd, 2015. White House creative director Neil Druckmann has said although a prototype for The Last of Us 2 was made, the sequel is not currently in development at the studio. Speaking to official PlayStation Magazine UK, Druckmann addressed recent statements from voice actor North stated The Last of Us 2 was in development. I can say that it's kind of a surprise for him to say. And Druckmann said, I was like, oh, he knows more than we know about what we're doing next. We joked about it afterwards during the shots and stuff. The Last of Us spoiler cast. According to North, who voices Nathan Drake in Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, and David in The Last of Us, the sequel was in development alongside Uncharted 4. But this does not seem to be the case. Instead, the studio prototyped it along with a number of other ideas, before ultimately being pulled into the Uncharted 4 development project and dictating itself to that. When Bruce Straley, co-director, and I moved over to Uncharted 4, we were brainstorming ideas for The Last of Us 2 with characters, ideas for TLOU2, with Joel and Ellie, ideas for a sci-fi game, ideas for a fantasy game, then building prototypes for each one. Some of those ideas he explained. And just as we were getting close to settling, narrowing that list down, we asked to work on Uncharted 4. The subject of returning to those prototypes, I said that there's a part of me that's really looking forward to go back to those things. I added that he has no cycles left in my mind, even to be thinking about that right one. So I guess Nolan North was kind of right in that we were working on stuff, but we don't know what we're doing next, and we don't know until probably a few months after we finish Uncharted 4. In March 2015, Sony delayed the release date for Uncharted 4 to spring 2016. Norman and Stradley said the delay was necessary to ensure that PlayStation 4 game matches the high expectations from fans. Sony has revealed the multiplayer beta for Uncharted 4 for launch on December 4th. Filed under The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. The Verge, trailer for the new Last of Us. There's just a trailer by an article about the trailer, mostly by Chris Planty, December 3rd, 2016, 2:23 p.m. EST. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. It's called Gaming Culture. It's from the Verge website. Watch the first trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. Sony closed its annual PlayStation Experience event by announcing The Last of Us Part 2. The anticipated sequel is the second big announcement from developer Naughty Dog today for the reveal of Uncharted, The Lost Legacy. The Lost Legacy is just the DLC for Uncharted 4. The Last of Us Part 2 takes place at the events of the original game. In the trailer, an adult Ellie sings her brooding tune with the help of an acoustic guitar. Joe, her complicated father figure, enters the room and asks if the young woman plans to go through with an ambiguous plan. I'm going to find and kill every last one of them, she replies. The trailer did not provide an official release date. They're not very long articles, either. They're pretty short. I'll just read them all. This one's from 4bs.com. This also was updated. It's from December 3rd, 2016. At 5:33 p.m. It says, and the article has 74,837 reviews. So the Last of Us 2 reveal trailer tells us about Naughty Dog's new game, Arcade contributor, talking about the intersection of entertainment and technology. And it says, one of the best moments in the PlayStation Experience keynote was the reveal of Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2. Its direct sequel to the 2013 original. The game is still in early development. In the trailer, we see an older, all tatted up version of Ellie playing a really haunting song on an acoustic guitar. We see blood running down Ellie's cheek. When Joe shows up, the camera pans over to reveal a body on the bloody ground. What are you doing, kiddo? He asks. You really gonna go through with this? I guess it's gonna turn down. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna kill them. Kill every last one of them. She replies, her eyes cold. If I had to guess, I'd say Ellie is the main protagonist in the second game. Now that she's older and tougher. And this would be a nice chance for the first game, where Joel is the main playable character. He's getting a bit old for this kind of thing anyways. Looks like a great revenge story. Given how fantastic the first game was, my hopes are set rather high. I'm really curious to see how the big lie at the end of the original plays into this game. Will it remain buried, or will it come to the surface somehow? I loved The Last of Us as a standalone game, and a part of me wishes they just had served Ellie and Joel there. On the other hand, there are such great characters. I can't help but be excited that they're back. Here's the PSX reveal trailer. The song Through the Valley by Sean James is a fitting match to the original's incredible express soundtrack. Here are the lyrics. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. I'm blinded by God. They comfort me because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Shall walk beside the still waters, and they must rule my soul. And I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. Well, I came upon a man at the top of a hill, calls himself the savior of the human race. Said he come to save the world from destruction and pain, but I said, how can I save the world from itself? Because I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil because I'm blind. I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul. But I know when I die, my soul is damned. It looks absolutely stunning. Given how incredible The Last of Us looked on PS3, and then how beautiful Uncharted 4 was on PS4. I can imagine what a gorgeous, if bleak game this will be. No release date yet, so stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also subscribe to my email newsletter. That's it for that article, I guess. Naughty Dog announces The Last of Us 2. Patricia Hernandez, Saturday, 2:09 p.m. Field to The Last of Us. Well, it has been rumored for a while now. Today we got official confirmation that The Last of Us is getting a sequel that follows an older Ellie and Joel. Edit 5:30 p.m. during a panel discussion. Later in the day, creative director Neil Druckmann confirmed that Ellie will be the playable character in The Last of Us 2. Joel is the star of the first. Ellie is the star in this one. Ellie plays differently from Joel. The first game was released in 2013 with a big cliffhanger that didn't make it very clear what happened to Ellie, so it makes sense for Naughty Dog to return to her. Even Joel's decision to save Ellie, there's a lot of juicy ground for a follow-up to cover. Does Ellie feel guilty? Does she know what happened to Joel and Ellie's relationship? Here's the trailer. Ellie sounds pissed. We know that much. She's got better guitar skills. At that moment, The Last of Us Part 2 is in early development stages, and so we're likely not going to be able to play it for a while still. So, do you think Ellie wants to kill the Fireflies? Probably if they're thinking to yourself that TLUOU did not need a sequel. Here is creative director Neil Druckmann. I can't tell you how satisfying it is to finally be able to say that Ellie and Joel are back for another intense, harrowing, and emotional adventure. Like many of you, we have a deep love for the world of The Last of Us and its characters and mods equal make seem like a foregone conclusion. That wasn't the case. We knew that it needed to be a story worth telling, and perhaps more importantly, worthy of Joel and Ellie. After spending years at different ideas and almost giving up, we finally uncovered a story that felt special. A story that evolved into an epic journey. Patricia Hernandez at Patricia, deputy editor. That's it for that article. In The Last of Us Part 2, you play as Ellie. Ellie's not Joe. Ellie, not Joe, is the playable character of the second Last of Us. Also made by Chris Perry, December 3rd, 2016. The newly revealed sequel to The Last of Us. I'll be put in the shoes of Ellie, rather than Joel. Naughty Dog revealed today. A PlayStation Experience panel this afternoon began with the re-airing of the trailer for The Last of Us Part 2. As appeared earlier today, watch it above. The video ends with Ellie vowing to find and kill everyone. Though it's unclear who it is she plans to target. Creative director Neil Druckmann was asked about the identity of those people. A subject has avoided addressing directly. He did, however, state that Ellie will be the playable character in Part 2, as was the case in The Last of Us TLC expansion left behind. Beyond that, there was little shared about what shall be changed in terms of gameplay. Thurman noted Ellie plays differently in the show, but didn't elaborate. Further contrasting the two games, Druckmann said the first was about the love between Joel and Ellie. He describes Part 2 as being the counter, saying it's about hate and how we use all the same things that make the player feel that. Druckmann also confirmed Gustavo, the composer of the first game, is returning for Part 2. The panel is ongoing, but we'll have more as it's shared. A date hasn't been shared for Part 2 yet, though Druckmann described it as being a ways off earlier today. The Last of Us Part 2, December 5th, 2016. The Last of Us director returning for Part 2. Sharon Bruce recently decided to take some much deserved time off. By Joel Zuckerberg, Chris Sterling, game director of The Last of Us, will not be returning to direct The Last of Us Part 2. After his sources told Kotaku that China was on a year-long sabbatical following the completion of Uncharted 4. Sony confirmed the news, which recently decided to take much deserved time off after shipping two critically acclaimed games in the last few years, said a spokesperson. He's looking forward to returning to the studio soon, turning back in on his next project. It's not clear whether Australia will serve another role on The Last of Us Part 2. Or if that next project is something else entirely. Last year, Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann explained that Australia had created prototypes for The Last of Us Part 2, as well as brand new sci-fi and fantasy games. Druckmann was directing Part 2 in Australia instead. Revealed on PlayStation Experience last weekend about The Last of Us Part 2. It will feature the first game's Joel and Ellie, but several years down the line. The game, which has no release date and is described as a ways off, is apparently a counterpoint to the original tale of love. Stories about hate, explained Druckmann. Joel Scarbills is IGN's UK news editor, and this news story was about a hate, a complementary counterpoint to this one, and which is about elite hacker schools. Follow him on Twitter. Yeah, it's the same articles. Oh, I just read that one. GameSport, Shirley's not coming back. Last update by Eddie McCutch, December 4th, 2016. It's called The Last of Us 2. Bruce Riley not returning to direct. Bruce recently decided to take some much deserved time off after shipping to the critically acclaimed games in the last few years. And it has 27 comments. Dog's Bruce Riley directed The Last of Us, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, alongside Neil Druckmann. However, Shelley will not return to direct the recently confirmed sequel, The Last of Us Part 2. Sony confirmed in a statement to Kotaku, Shelley is taking some much deserved time off. Bruce recently decided to take some much deserved time off after shipping acclaimed games in the last few years. The company said he's looking forward to returning to the studio, soon and jumping back in on his next project. Sherman is directing Part 2. He attended a panel for the game yesterday at PlayStation Experience, sharing some new insight into the project, which is only in the early stages of development. According to Kotaku, Australia is on a year-long sabbatical. He's a veteran Naughty Dog employee and been with the company for almost 20 years. After Amy Hennig left, Naughty Dog Australia, Druckmann took over starring duties for Uncharted 4, which came out in May 2016 to critically acclaim. For more on The Last of Us Part 2, check out the video and stories below. The video is our biggest unanswered questions for The Last of Us Part 2. News, The Last of Us Part 2, director Justice sequel worries. It says, trust us. In The Last of Us Part 2, he plays Ellie. File under PlayStation 4, The Last of Us Part 2. And the last article, The Last of Us will be a game about hate. December 5th, 2015, 9 o'clock a.m., Field 2 feature by Ethan Gatch. I show a concept art for The Last of Us 2 with a picture of Ellie, I guess. And it's not a picture of her mother, I don't think, at all. During a panel discussion for The Last of Us 2 at this year's PSX, the game's director, Neil Druckmann, revealed the wares of the first game. It was about love, the follow-up would be about hate. The game's weakness came through in its announcement trailer, which included a sobering conversation about people she needed to kill. A dead body lies before her hands, glues and scrapped. If there And Ellie's hand was shaking in the trailer as well. If there's any salvation to be found in the world of The Last of Us 2, it's not clear whether Ellie is searching for it. While the game is still far from release, Thurman sat on stage at PSX. The voice actors for its two protagonists, Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker. They discussed the performances behind the game and where Naughty Dog wants to take the story next. With Game Informer's Andy McNamara, the Twitter picture saying, the crew about to meet fans and signs. (3:02 p.m. December 3rd). If the first game was really about the love between these two characters, the story is the counter of that. Druckerman explained early on. It's a story about hate. Through Ellie. This time, the first game you play as Joel. This game you play as Ellie. Ellie's about 19, and the years spent surviving the collapse of civilization have taken their toll. She's gone through some shit. Johnson said later during the discussion. Naughty Dog is using new performance capture technology for The Last of Us 2. And they did a demonstration of Ellie and Ashley Johnson with a 3D captured version. Show herself as Ellie, I guess. Moving her mouth and stuff. And they have a picture of it on the... It was a GIF. A picture. Below it says, with regard to worries that a sequel could somehow risk degrading the integrity of the original ambiguous ending, the document said, you have to understand that no one loves these characters more than we do. And we would not do this if we didn't feel like we didn't have the right idea. All I ask is that fans of the first one put some faith in us, trust, we're going to do right by them. And Canadian government also shared some concept art for TLOU2 and confirmed that Gustavo Santaella would be returning to score the new game. Score as in the music, the composer. They show concept art of the game too. Wake up. Open photo booth. I guess those are all the articles, I guess. Go to sleep. I don't think there's any more. There's no more. Two messages. Alright, so we know the theme of hate is going to be in. Okay, but I've just stumbled upon this vid. To me, the end of Through the Valley, a credit will be telling. Song 23 is very telling. I guess that's it for all the articles, I guess. And I'm really looking forward to the game. I hope all the other characters return. I hope that they have the infected in this game. The clickers and all this. And the sleepers and the runners. And and the bloaters and all those characters. I hope they have like a effective one that flies. I don't know, I just would like that. And I wonder if the upgrade system will be good. Or, are there any stations for upgrading your equipment and stuff, your guns and stuff? And will there be loadouts where you can change your weapons and stuff in the campaign? And will Ellie be a better playable character than Joel was? Will you ever get to play as Joel in the game? In this one? Or just play as Ellie the whole time? I don't know. Yes, this game is also about hate and revenge. Ellie wants to take some group of people out. I don't know who they are. A lot of people are guessing it's fireflies. Or it could be infected, or it could be not infected. Or it could be other people. I don't know. It's probably fireflies. I have to guess. And I'm guessing that machete that you see on the floor, below the bed that Ellie is sitting on. I'm guessing you have a machete that you use. And hopefully they have a better knife thing in the game, not like the shiv or anything that you created in the first one. You should have a handy knife. And then you can use it whenever you want. You don't have to keep creating knives and stuff. That would be kind of cool if you had your own a combat knife or something. One of those military type knives. I don't know. What kind of weapons? I wonder what kind of weapons they'll have. So we have the bow and arrow, isn't it? The bow that you used in the first one. Did the others have her notes and backpack stuff? And I don't know if her mother will be in the game. They said that her mother died or something. Something like that. I just wanted to share the articles in the Wiki page from fandom, I guess. It's powered by fandom. And it's very in-depth. I wonder where all the characters will be in the game. And I made a YouTube video, so I hope you really enjoyed it. And I gotta go now, so I hope you enjoyed it. And please rate, comment, like, favorite, subscribe. Thoughts and opinions. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it for your viewing pleasure. Guys and girls. And like Ghost Rolla says, please drink some hot chocolate. And I'll see you all later. And this is Aaron Halo 18 signing off. Goodbye.